Good afternoon. I'm Naresh Khanna, and we are in the Noida office of Indian Printer and Publisher and Packaging South Asia. And my co-presenter in this program is Priyanka Tanwar. Priyanka?
Hi. Hi, I'm Priyanka, the correspondent for Packaging South Asia and Indian Printer and Publisher, and I welcome all our viewers to our Now program.
Okay, Priyanka, great. Let's talk today, if you like, or if we can, about what is happening in the Indian and global publishing industry, book production industry, and some of the insights we have gained in the past couple of months, especially as I visited Milan for the Pakima and Print for All and Farm and Tech, etc., and recent PaperX exhibition in Greater Noida, where you were also there, and also the Printpack India exhibition, which returned after 2.5 years, and which was quite a big turnout, and which reflected quite a bit of the enthusiasm of the industry, not only in India, but the industry globally, to get back to in-person events and to network. I mean, although there are reports of one of the variants of COVID coming back in India, and the numbers in Delhi, I think, have risen above 2,000 in the past couple of days, and there are some deaths also now. Nevertheless, the industry, the printing industry, the packaging industry, and the publishing industry, all are keen to network, and all are keen to in-person network. And to some extent, I would say that people are not waiting or understanding what is the new normal. They are pretending everything is normal, or hoping that everything is normal, and very keen to go back to business as it was. So the economy also at this time seems to be recovering. The print industry and the packaging industry certainly are in fairly good shape, partly because they have been resilient in the past 2.5 years. I asked Priyanka to talk a little bit about what is happening in the literary world recently with all the awards.
So, the first event that I attended this year for the literary scene was the Jaipur Literature Festival, in which all the authors and the writers were very keen and excited to come back to the physical events. And though it was at a new venue, it was a great success among both the writers and the attendees.
I believe now, Priyanka, there are going to be more Jaipur Literary Festival events around the world in person.
Yes.
Recently, an event has been announced in Rome also.
Yes, that
Can
is
you tell us a little bit about that? When is that?
That is in 2023, I think June.
So the first award this year or something like that, or the recent award?
So recently, the International Prize for Arabic Fiction winner was announced, in which Muhammad Al-Nas won the prize for his book, The Bread on Uncle Milad's Table, which discusses the gender politics in the Libyan society. And after that, a Women's Prize for Fiction has also been announced, and the winner, Ruth Ozeki Tor, talks about materialism and about the practices of hoarding in the modern day world.
I believe the International Booker has also been recently awarded.
Yes.
Huh? Did that go to an Indian author? No.
It went to the translator Daisy Rockwell, and the author Gitanjali. She is Indian, but basically that is the prize for the translator, for the English translation of the Indian novel, Indian Hindi version.
Okay, so the English translation.
Yes.
What is the name of that novel?
Tomb of Sand.
Tomb of Sand. Okay, I saw that on the.
And it's Ret Samadhi in Hindi.
What is it again?
Ret Samadhi.
Ret Samadhi.
Yeah.
Tomb of Sand.
Yeah.
Okay.
Published by Rajkamal Publications.
Okay, thank you for that. See, we have seen in the last 3 or 4 months, as the schools have opened in India, there has been a fairly active boom in book production. Exports have done well throughout the pandemic. Book printing exports have done well, extremely well throughout the pandemic. For book printers like Replica and New Tech and Thomson Press, all three of which we have visited. in the past few months. And we saw that that book production boom caused by the demand for textbooks, uh, since schools were reopening after 2.5 years, was quite strong. Some reports now indicate that the book production demand has slightly leveled off, but nevertheless, book printing exports are very strong. And some of the major book printers have acquired digital presses also, and brand new offset presses, multicolor offset presses such as New Tech. Replica had acquired them earlier during the year, and Thomson Press, which has just installed an 8-color perfector with a lot of automation. So, do you want to talk a little bit about your visit to New Tech?
Yeah, I recently visited New Tech in the month of May, and they had acquired a brand new RNGT press for their book printing business, and they're mostly exporting their books to South African countries and the African countries. And mostly
South American, I believe.
yeah, South American and the African countries. And then they have also put up their stalls at the London Book Fair, recent London Book Fair, and the Bologna Children's Fair, and they also plan to participate in 2 or 3 other international fairs this year.
Yeah. And Priyanka, if I remember correctly from your report, Ravi Shroff of New Tech said that what is crucial for book printing exporters from India is that they must take part in these fairs repeatedly and consistently. It is not just to go once and to come back, but it takes years of building up that whole approach to the market and being visible for it to have any meaningful results.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And after this, I visited Print Vision in Ahmedabad, and mostly they're printing some books for the domestic segment for the neighboring states around Gujarat.
Okay. That's also a book printer. I believe
Yeah.
you went to the Navjeevan Trust also,
Yeah, I visited.
which is the publisher of Gandhi's works.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were printing around 2.5 crores worth of Gandhiji's books before the pandemic, but during the pandemic, their printing, like the print selling, came down to around 40 lakhs in the first year, and then around 80 lakhs in the second year. But now they're steadily recovering.
Okay. Okay. I also had the opportunity to visit Thomson Press last week. Thomson Press is one of the biggest book commercial printers in the country, owned by the same group as Living Media, publishers of India Today magazine, and many other publications. And they have also recently acquired a brand new 8-color, fully automated press with LED UV, I believe. And they are quite thrilled about the efficiency of the new press. And I think they told us that in one 24-hour period, they had done something like 160 make-readies in a 24-hour period. So there are huge efficiencies coming to book production in India, and the printers are understanding the advantages of automation. During the pandemic, they seem to have been able to build up sufficient stocks of paper, so they were not affected by the worldwide shortage of paper and the increase in the price of raw materials as much, although there is an across the board rise in the cost of raw materials. And they seem to be gearing up for the next phase in their growth with investments in technology. That means in automated presses and automated binding equipment. For instance, at Printpack, we saw an excellent piece of automated bindery equipment manufactured by Impel Wellbound. We saw their 5000 machine, which is a gathering machine, perfect binding machine, and 3-knife cutter, which can produce 5,000 books an hour, and with a new configuration which saves space. So that means considerable technology input coming from an Indian manufacturer, which will really help book manufacturing and production in India as well as exports, because the book binding equipment manufacturers globally don't seem to be doing that well, and their machines are now slowly becoming overpriced for Indian printers, book printers. So that is one issue. Another thing I would like to caution some of the industry, and this comes from my talking to senior people who are both book printers as well as packaging printers, is that although there seems to be a lot of enthusiasm, and from not buying equipment for 2.5, 3 years, a surge in buying offset presses and other kinds of equipment, die cutting equipment in the packaging industry, etc., one should look at the coming year, 22-23 financial year, in which many people expect to come back to pre-COVID levels. One should look at this financial year with a bit of caution, because the raw material prices across the board have increased greatly. Okay, our own paper purchase prices have gone up by about 50%. I was talking to one printer in the south who said the price of one component has gone from 2.5 rupees to 5 rupees, doubled. And this is when things are actually available. So apart from the price, the availability of various inputs is also a concern. So a word of caution: yes, the economy is recovering. The printing and packaging and publishing industry seem to be recovering on the whole faster than the economy. But one should tread carefully in the next few months until we are able to really rationalize the inputs and also align them with demand in a more structured way. Thank you. Thank you, Priyanka.
Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and like this video. Thank you.